As I mentioned a while ago, it gets pretty hard to know if we're talking about being a beginner guitarist after a while, or if you're intermediate or advanced. If you've been following along and you've read this much in Hal Leonard right now, then you're a way better reader than many advanced guitarists who are really good players. The Beatles, for instance, would have bragged that they couldn't read music at all. And the same is true with a lot of great players that you're going to meet in your lifetime. But note reading is a valuable aspect of your playing and will round out your musicianship. As we wrap up book one, I would say, well, we're moving on from beginner to intermediate, probably, or we could call it level 2. In fact, it's time for you to probably start looking at Hal Leonard's book 2. All along the way, you might have also wanted to be playing from their Pop Melodies book. This is an amazing supplement with lots of popular tunes that we can play. In fact, some of the songs that we've learned in a rock style, where we're learning the actual recorded version, are given in there in terms of melody. I probably will touch on some of them soon here, as well as moving into book 2 very soon. If you're coming in and you want to work on your reading and you're actually a beginner, I would ask you again to get on the playlist and get back to lesson 1 and start right at the beginning, where we learn the names of our strings, how to identify a few notes on each string, how to read a few notes at a time and work our way up to where we are here. If you've been playing along with some of the other songs, the fingerstyle and pop tunes, you probably find you're actually getting to be a fairly advanced player already in terms of that. And in terms of what we just finished, if you could play the key of B flat with all these bar chords, you're way beyond beginner in that sense too, and way beyond what Hal Leonard expects of you in terms of your chords. For that reason, we're kind of up in the air here. I'm going to be changing the title of these lessons pretty soon to level 2 or something like that, because you can't really call these beginners at this point. I was going to skip a couple of songs in Hal Leonard for good, but I'm looking at them now thinking, well, even though we've covered this information, maybe just for housekeeping you'd like to finish these songs off. So on your page 40, they're introducing the C sharp note. If you've been with me any kind of time, you've known the C sharp for a long time. We've actually learned the key of A, where we play our whole steps and half steps that build a major scale. If you haven't heard that before, quickly, the distance between the notes in a major scale are whole step, half step. That's 2 frets from A to B, for instance. 2 frets from B to C sharp. The half step is 1 fret from C sharp to D. Then we have whole step, so 2 frets from D to E, 2 frets to F sharp, 2 frets to G sharp, the leading tone, which is a half step at the end from the final A. Whole, half, whole, half. So the key of A had C sharps, F sharps, G sharps, and A. You learned that at one point going down the 5th string. Whole to B, whole to C sharp, half to D. Whole to E, whole to F sharp, whole to G sharp, half to A. A has 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. You can find those by the little phrase, Father Charles goes down and ends battle. Your first sharp you learn is F sharp, Father. Then Charles, that puts us in the key of D. Father Charles goes. The G sharp puts us in the key of A. Your 1, 4, 5 in A are A, B, C, D is the 4, E is the 5. Wild thing was A, D, and E. So was keep your hands to yourself. A, D, A, E, A. So we already know those. We've talked about this, but I don't think we've seen a song yet where they put the dominant 7 on every one of those chords. This is emblematic of the blues. Only the 5 chord, the dominant 7 chord, should have that 7 on it. But in the blues, they'll put it on all of the chords. So instead of just A, you get A7. Instead of just D, you get D7. E could be E or E7. That's the other thing the Hal Leonard book is teaching us here. The C sharps to put us in the key of A, and the dominant 7 on those 4 chords, those bluesy chords. The other thing we're looking at here is that this song again is a pentatonic major song. We've played that a ton of times in G with Amazing Grace and other songs, and we know from pentatonic that we're trying to lose these half steps. We do so by removing note 4, so we have 1, 2, and 3, and note 7. So our notes in pentatonic are 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. So in pentatonic major, A, B, C sharp, E, F sharp. A, B, C sharp, E, F sharp. The shape you know we called pentatonic major or pentatonic number 2. A, B, C sharp, E, F sharp, A, B, C sharp, E, F sharp, A, and an extra B because we can reach it. You actually knew this a long time ago when we did Crazy Train. Crazy Train was in the key of A, and we used an F sharp minor pentatonic in that key. If I start an F sharp minor pentatonic on the pinky note, that's an A major pentatonic. Notice they sound the same. Scale 1 or scale 2 or in open position. So those are the notes in Rockin Blues. The other thing they're doing is using a lot of rests in this. It's actually kind of a nice sounding song. We have quarter rests on beat 2 and 3. So 2 eighth notes, 1 and rest, rest, 4 and 1 and rest, rest. This would actually be a great exercise for you. 1 and rest, rest, 4 and 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 1 and rest, rest, etc. to make sure you know the beat of the song. That used to help me a lot to hum through a song before I tried playing it. I'm going to say C rather than the C sharp, which is the 2nd fret note, just because as I say them quickly, I want to be able to get them out in time. So know that I mean C sharp. C, 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 B, A, A, B, C, 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 B, A, A, D, E, F, 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 E, D, D, etc. You could name the notes off that way. So C sharp, 2nd fret, 2nd string, F sharp, 2nd fret on the 1st string. There could be G sharps in the key of A, but we're pentatonic, so they've been taken out. To create your rests, you want to mute your guitar. The 2 ways to mute the guitar are the left hand mute to release pressure on that note. I still get a little bit of residual ringing in the wood and the other strings, so I will also do a right hand mute, touching down with the right hand to kill the string. 1 and rest, 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 rest. So silencing the guitar there. Let's try her out slowly. I don't know where you're at with your sight reading at this point. I don't imagine that you can sight read this with me, but again, as we've talked about, practice 1 bar at a time, then double it up into 2 bars, get good at a handful of bars, and build up the entire song over a few days or a week, and then play along. I'll go slowly enough anyway. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and rest, 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 D, E, F sharp, rest, 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 A, B, C sharp, rest, 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 E, that's the song. If we were playing together, I might play a lot of that and have you play the E's. E, 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 E. D. Practice this bar of A. 1 and rest, then hold for 2 beats on this half note, beats 3 and 4. When you get that, then we could go back up to the beginning and practice C sharp, rest, rest. I wouldn't do C sharp and B by themselves. I would get them down to the A. C sharp, B, A. C sharp, B, A. Come back to this C sharp, rest, rest. And again, C sharp, rest, rest. When that's nice, walk up off this A, B to C sharp, 2, O, 2, 2. A, B, C sharp. And then at the end of the line, it goes C sharp, B, A again, which we've already learned. So you have C sharps, the walk down, the walk up to that same C sharp, and the walk down. 4 bars out of your 12. It's a 12-bar blues, of course. Rest, rest, walk down. Rest, rest, walk up. Rest, rest, walk down. These notes you've been good at for some time. We probably don't have to work on them very long. We're doing the same idea. We're walking up into the D chord. We were on a third note of an A7 chord. Now we're on the third note of a D7 chord. So we're repeating the riff on the D. We walked up to F sharp and back down to the D. Maybe we'll play that a few times. Rest, rest. And again. Rest, rest. Although it only goes once, the first lick went twice because we're on the 1 chord, which goes for 4 bars. We're on the 4 chord, which goes for 2. We're back to the 1 chord, walking up to C sharp again, and walking back down to A. Here they rest you out for a bar. Hopefully you've noticed you've got a pretty straightforward pattern here in pentatonic. So we've got the third, we walk down to the root, walk back up to the third, walk back down to the root. Now we repeat that on the D chord. We're going to walk up to the third and back down to the root. Now we're on the A, we walk up to the third and back down to the root. There we are with 3 rests. A quarter rest for 1 beat, the half rest for 2, that's beats 3 and 4. And then we're on the E chord. We already talked about this. E, D, and at the end of the line there, we're on a C sharp, just like we were at the beginning. C sharp, and walk down to these A's, adding 1 A on beat 3. Of course, I'm rushing you a lot. If you're working hard on this and you need several days, make sure you're watching the video over and over again, but make sure you're pausing it. Let me show you how the bar works, and then you copy it back. When I'm learning songs by ear, or even trying to learn a song that I'm listening to, even with music, I'll play only a little phrase and listen to it. I'll often hum it back to myself and then try it. So you might hear this, I might play it, shut it off and hum that to myself. Da da, da 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 da. Okay, I got that. Listen to the next bit on the recording. Shut it off, try it. Do 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 do. Okay, try it all. So when you're learning a song, do it in bites. If you've got a source to listen to, which I'm trying to provide you with here, make sure you are listening to it. Listen to it overall, listen to the whole song, but also then just listen to the ideas. Your chords, you know already. I'll play through them a couple of times as well, so you might have this as an accompaniment to yourself playing the tune. If you're playing the song here, then I'd want the rhythm guitar playing something complementary, not identical, and at the same tempo, of course. So here's your 12-bar blues in A. You can play the chords with me, or you can play the melody as you've learned it. 1 and 2, 3, 4.